there's like stages of parenting, right? So you start at like a very like discipline oriented.
Yeah.
You've got to like make sure they get the rules, like it's birth to, I don't know, like 5 or 6, something like that. And then it's like training to make sure they're not just knowing the rules, but they're actually doing them. And I like how Jordan Peterson talks about in his book where he says like, you need to raise kids that you want to be around. So like this is part of that training process of like, they can't just do whatever they want. They shouldn't be ruling the nest. They're not in charge. You got to help them, but you do it in loving, caring, shepherding.
Right.
But then after that, so this is like, I don't know, like junior high, maybe even high school age, like then you're in coaching. And it's like, okay, but not just who do I think you should be, but who do you think you should be? And that's kind of the stage that you're at right now. Like you're seeing it, you're coaching it, you're seeing affirmations in that, they're experiencing it. And then the next stage for us will be like when we send them off. And it's like now we're friends in the friendship stage. Mm-hmm. And every single stage is different. It needs and requires us to be different men and different dads and care for our families in different ways. But nonetheless, we don't love them any differently. But it's cool that you're in that stage, man. It's a good place to be.
I actually just had the talk with my son. In fact, it was the day before Father's Day, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. It was the day before Father's Day. And I'm talking to him, my daughter and I, she's like an extrovert, talks, and my son is just kind of a man of few words.
Yeah.
And as a father, you're like, dude, I want to know how was your day? He had just been gone for a whole week of summer church retreat.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm dying to pick him up. Like, how was it, man? Good.
Fine.
Okay. Did you meet anyone that wasn't from the school? He's like, Caden. Well, what's cool about Caden, bro? Like, I'm like, come on. Like, can you throw me a bone?
Yeah, nothing.
And what was really cool, honestly, is I uncovered that day with him on why it has been a struggle for me to pull words out of him is because he shared with me, he's like, Dad, I feel like every time we talk about something real, it turns into this lecture and it's like 20 minutes. And I was like, dang, like, I'm so glad that you shared that with me. Because...
Is that true?
It's got to be true.
Because I think a lot of times oftentimes parents parent in the way that they were parented or in the way they wish they were parented.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times what happens is like heavy authoritative parents, dads, a lot of times they'll fall in that same way or no rules. Right. Whatever you want to do, let's do it. I'm the best dad in the world. Woo! And it's like, actually you're creating madness around you and your family. Like it's not great. It's not a good situation, but yeah, it's interesting.
For me, I'm just learning how to be a parent now. So everything's very new for me. I keep asking people, what's the hardest age for a son or daughter? Nobody has a Adam saying 4. No. You guys clearly, I think you think it's a teenager.
No. I think no.
What do you think, AJ?
The hardest one is the one that you're in at that moment. Is what I would say. I
think you're right, but the problem with me is that I've got a 16-year-old and a 5-year-old and everything in between. So it's just like I guess my life's we're just gonna be in this madness until I'm 50.
That's what you're to me, and I give the analogy all the time. Like, so my brother has 5 kids, you got 6, but like you are barely head above water. I mean, there's like this survival mode to an extent. You're juggling a whole lot of things.
But let's be real. Let's be real. My wife Rebecca's head is barely above water.
Right.
I mean, like she is an unbelievable parent. She without Rebecca, man, I didn't even know what would be happening. I can't even imagine life without it. But like. Together as a team, we're constantly thinking about how do we aim these 6 souls that God's given us in a way that would glorify Him and like shape them and mold them into the people that we would be proud of, that the Lord would be proud of, and that the community would be glad that they're there. Mm-hmm. Hardest age range, like for me, it really it depends on the kid's personality. And this is what's so crazy, man. I've got 6 girls, and they're each so different. It blows me away how like our first. I won't say names because that would be embarrassing. Rhymes with Tia, but so like our first she would do something wrong, disobedient against the rules. We just look at her and she's like, I'm so sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. And I'm telling him, I'm like, I think I'm parent of the year, man. I must be parenting. Why is it? Everyone says it's so hard. This is easy. All I do is just look and say no. And, then, yeah, and she just changes. This is awesome. Let's have a second. This is cake. And then the second was like, she knows how to hotwire a car. Like, she's like 3 months old. Like, what in the world? Like, we had to get our arms around Claire a little bit. And like, dude, Claire at 2 was tough.
Yeah.
Claire at 3 was tough. And now they're just perfect little angels.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
But like it so depends. Every kid, it depends on their age as to where they're tough.